So here we are at the legendary, storied, iconic Senator Theater. I know from the first time I really learned about historic theaters and got interested in them, this was one of my destinations, and now I'm here. Unfortunately, we're here just under the wire, but we're here, and I'm so pleased that we could come and take a look at this theater. We don't know what its fate will be in the next few days, but we're here now, and we're here to celebrate what a wonderful icon for endangered single-screen movie theaters that this theater has become. Since its inception, this theater was owned by Tom Kiefaber's family, and that's a rarity. I don't think there's too many still standing that have been with their original owners' families for all these years. But I'd like Tom to come up so that we can do something that we haven't done since our Boston Conclave. Those of you who were on it will remember that at that time, there was this particular theater in Baltimore, Massachusetts that we wanted to recognize. The gentleman had, on his own dime, restored a beautiful theater into a lovely configuration. He was using it, and we felt that it deserved some recognition. So that year, the board instituted the Creating Theatre History Award. And we gave it to the Kiefaber Theater in Beverly, Massachusetts. And we haven't actually given one out since then because it's not an annual award. It's something that we really need to think about, and we want to be very sure that the venue where we're holding our conclave that we choose to give it to is worthy, is truly worthy. And I think as we sat around that table in January, there wasn't anybody on the board who didn't think that Tom Kiefaber from the Senator Theater deserved the 2009 Creating Theatre History Award. So Tom is going to tell us a little bit about his theater.
Thank you so much. Welcome. Did you hear that? She said 3 times. A little short history of the theater. As you can imagine, having grown up here, there's an awful lot to talk about, but I'll sort of cut to the chase. This means more to me than you can possibly imagine. This theater is currently involved in a struggle, a battle, essentially for the soul of the Senator and its future. In a nutshell, my family has operated this theater from a community-based perspective, and we have been active participants in the community, and it's been an extremely rewarding 70 years of operation, particularly the last 25 where I've been independent of it. What you're seeing taking place is really a crucial transition, and right now Baltimore City has this thing set up to go to an auction in less than 2 weeks. The auction may happen, it may not, but just in the last few days, we've pretty much decided to take a stand and let people know what's really going on, and not what these press releases coming from downtown and being repeated by the TV stations all around. So rather than go into all of that, I would have to encourage you all to go to senator.com, and that will take you to astrogirlguides.com. It's a blog. As a matter of fact, Astro Girl's right there. We have been involved in the past few weeks in really documenting a lot of what has taken place in the past 10 to 15 years here in town in terms of this theater's relationship with the real estate development interest and their interest in pretty much taking control of this facility. So this is a situation, as you all know, I don't have to preach to the choir here, you all know very well. These theaters get to this point, as Karen said, and it's a very, very critical transition. And the idea that they now have this set up to essentially be a game of Russian roulette in 2 weeks is simply unacceptable. And we're hoping to change what would otherwise be the fate of a script written downtown to something that's more community-based and that moves forward so that this theater can not just have another 5 or 10 years of a Southern Crime Monument, but it can have another 70 years of glorious operation from a community-based perspective. So to the degree that those of you are theater fans, theater knowledgeable about theater, we share something that is a passion for these extraordinary places of assembly, which essentially are magic. And having grown up in here, I can tell you, it's not just pride, it's not just because my family has built and operated this theater. There is something extraordinary about the Senator Theater, and its national iconic status, I think, will only become more and more known over the years. But I'm asking all of you, when you go back to your respective professions and all of that, to take the time to email the Mayor of Baltimore, the TV stations, radio stations, or wherever you think might be able to shed a little bit of light on this so that we can have a successful future for the Senator. I think it's worthy to note, and I'll wrap up this up, I think it's worthy to note that all someone has to do in the city of Baltimore nowadays with our media at the City Hall is say, we have something to tell you. And if it's what they're saying, Tom's the problem in the Senator Theater, which is what they've been saying, then the TV stations descend on me and demand that I respond. Now, all of them were aware that this event was going to take place today, this event. Do you see any of them? It's up to us. It's the people. People talk about the city. The city is people. We elect these people, they run our city, and if enough voices speak up, then it won't just be a voice of the wilderness, it will be a collective voice. So thank you all very, very much. This has been, when we heard that this was happening, I didn't know to this extent, but we knew you all were coming, and we knew there was something that was going to be done here today, and it is so inspiring to us to know that there are those of you out there who fully appreciate and understand the significance of these facilities, particularly what takes place during this period. I have to sort of wrap this up with hopefully a little bit of humor. We're going to take a shot at our local city council person who unfortunately started out as a community-based guy and very quickly crossed over to the dark side and now pretty much is the go-to guy for the development interests of Baltimore. And when Astro Girl Laura met with him, she said, how can the problem be Tom Kiefaber? Because there's been award after award, this being the latest one, accolades, all of these things, millions raised for nonprofits. What about all that? What about the National Business Leadership of the Year award from Main Street? So he said, you know what he said? He said, that's just a bunch of old theater nuts.
Yeah.
So you know what? That's what we are, a bunch of old theater nuts, and hallelujah. And let's get this started. Now we're going to show you something here. I also would like to just quickly say that over the years, when it seems like you have very few friends out there, I don't want to get too emotional here, Karen Noonan, call her, she'll pick up the phone, and it's, I just want to thank you so much because you have been loyal, you have made efforts to actually sort of get some other voices into the media, and it makes a huge difference. And we really appreciate it. I wish we had a
My pleasure.
Okay.